Guys, welcome back to Before the First Cast. I'm your host, Calvin Herndon. Guys, I have two great guests from the Liberty Bass team that we're going to get to talk to. I have Mr. Colin Cooper and Mr. Cory Mitchell with us. Guys, how are you doing tonight?
Doing well, man. How are you?
Can't complain.
Yeah, doing good, man. Doing good.
Good, good. So, for those who don't know you or haven't heard of the Liberty Bass team, kind of go into what really got you guys into fishing.
Well, I can kind of start us off. Me and Corey have fished together from since we've been probably in sixth grade, and we just fell in love with it at an early age. I think kind of obviously being friends and fishing all the time, it grows a passion for the sport, you know. But yeah, that's kind of how I got started at least. And Corey can talk on what he how he feels too as well. But yeah,
Yeah, I kind of got started. I don't know. I would probably say later than most kids nowadays. Like say it was probably I probably fell in love with fishing when I was in fifth grade, and then I kind of got into it more in sixth grade, and I was just going to ponds, just getting whoever could take me to drop me off, and then we'd fish for like 3 or 4 hours. We'd have like one water bottle split between four of us, and I mean we had a ton of fun. Uh, and then it slowly graduated. My dad got a bass boat, and that kind of got me into fishing. Some tournaments here and there with him growing up, and just I kind of stuck with it. Throughout high school, just really not serious, just fishing here and there, tournaments, and then I'd say like right during COVID is when me and Colin started to take it pretty serious, and we started. He had a John boat with like a 3 horsepower motor on it, and we could go like 2 miles an hour, and we fished every chance we could get. I mean, it was 25 degrees. Like one day, the gas was freezing up, and I don't even know if that's even possible or heard of, but like it was
I had
just
water
a
in it.
cluster. Yeah, I mean, it was it was an ordeal. We were
We
out there
just
every chance we could get, and
yeah.
we sucked. Now, don't get me wrong. We did not catch any fish. I mean, if we could catch one or two fish, we had a great day. But
Yeah,
it taught us a lot, and that kind of is what spiraled into where we're at now. Honestly, looking back, that year was probably the year where it all started. Just being out there on a john boat. We fished the Tuesday nighters out of that john boat with a cooler as a live well, and I remember the tournament director for those was like, looking at us like we were stupid. Like, "Is that thing got an aerator?" I mean, just asking us all
yeah,
kinds of questions, and but we had a ton of fun, and as bad as we sucked, we learned a ton,
yeah,
and we kind of got our teeth kicked in, but that's kind of what taught us as much as we know now.
yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
so you guys didn't go through the high school ranks because both of you guys are from Virginia, so you guys we don't really have the high school scene just yet. It's definitely up and coming, but you guys didn't come through a high school that had high school fishing.
No, we didn't. We when we went to middle school and a little bit of early high school together, we tried to get a team started, but there's the money really wasn't in it at that school. And then we both kind of transferred to different schools. I believe Corey went to LB and I went to William Byrd, but and I tried at my school as well, but it just wasn't enough interest. And you know, seeing now all these high school angers, it's something that you wish you would have had. But I know also we pretty much fished every day just like we if we would have been on a high school team. So, um, but yeah, we
Yeah, and
we,
that's something
we
I see that I want to kind of do for the sport here locally. We're trying to start a high school team up here, well, in Salem. They had a lot of interest in it, but it's just financial stuff and the whole
yeah,
legality stuff that you have to go through. It's just more of a headache than it is
yeah,
getting kids out on the water and that kind of stuff. But
yeah,
no, I bring that up because I think of some kids that did come up through the high school ranks and go to college, and they're named big names now.
yeah,
But I feel like if you guys keep going the way you're going in the college ranks, y'all are going to be up there at some point. So my next question is what kind of led you guys to Liberty?
Oh yeah, I guess I can take that one first because I technically led the way out of us two there. Honestly, I mean, I don't. I'll kind of cut some of it out because it is kind of a long story. But similar to Colin, we honestly had the exact same path. We both went to a local community college for 2 years, and then I got to the end of those 2 years and was like, okay, I want a bachelor's degree, but I don't know really where to go, and started another school and just hated it. Dropped out after a week, and I was kind of at a crossroads in my life of like, do I continue with college? Do I quit? Do I? I didn't really know what to do, and just got to looking at some degrees and stuff online, just what schools offered, and I saw Liberty offered a communications degree, and I didn't really know what communications was until I looked into it, and I was like, man, that's exactly what I want to do. That's what I want to do. I thought it was business. What I want to do has nothing really to do with business. It's all it's just a different form of marketing. So once I saw Liberty had that online, I was like, man, I think that's where I want to go. And so I started their online program in 2023. And the first thing I did was go on the fishing team page and try to find the president's contact information. I finally found it. I got in contact with the president. I told him, hey, I'm local. I have a boat. I've fished tournaments before. And they said, we'd love to have you. And at that point, and we can get into this more later, but the team was kind of in shambles. It was there really was no team, to be honest with you. There was no Liberty Bass fishing team. There was a couple of guys that had some interest in forming a team, but all the previous guys left, and they left it down to one member. So going into 2023, there was one member of the team, and that was it. And there was no sponsors. All the sponsors were tied to the guys that were on the team before. So there was no sponsors, and there was one member when I joined the team. And there was a small group of us, and we met for the first time in October of 2023 on campus at Liberty. And honestly, we all kind of clicked like first thing. But the problem was the registration dates were right on top of us. We had no sponsors, no money, and really no way of how we're going to get to Florida in a month or 2 months to fish. So we had to put all that together, and we can get into that more later. But that's kind of how I got started with Liberty. Just kind of, I mean, it's just one of those things that's just meant to be, or it just happens for whatever reason you can't explain. But literally, just I didn't even know if I wanted to continue with college. To now, I'm on a college fishing team that I've made friends I'll have my whole life, and now get in, and that me going to Liberty that's why I started, because it also kind of leads into Colin starting. So I'll let him tell his story.
Yeah. No, I kind of had a not as long of story as Cory has, but I definitely I toured a lot. I knew from the get go when I went to college I was going to join a fishing team, no matter if I went to community college or if I went to Tech or JMU, wherever I went, I was definitely going to fish. But when Cory's a year ahead of me in school, so he just graduated with his bachelor's, and I'm just finished my junior year, so I'll be a senior this coming fall. But no, yeah, I once Cory kind of led the way as far as he said he's going to Liberty. I had toured there a few times. I was like, they offer great online programs. I get to work, I get to fish. So I was kind of like, I might as well go ahead and go do this, And honestly, I wouldn't think of any better partner to have than somebody you grow up with and who you can call your best friend. So I was like, it was just a match made in heaven, and we went from there and kind of got started just this year because I was still at Virginia Western last year when Cory was just joining the team. But yeah, to be this is my first year. I've had a blast. We've learned so much already, and we're looking forward to the next few years as far as getting to fish together some more, as well as finishing off this year.
Yeah, I mean, I've definitely been keeping up with you guys on social media, and I'll kind of go with my Liberty, story. I'm a Liberty alumni as well. The fishing team when I was there was kind of like what Cory found it in. It's kind of shambles. We had like maybe 4 core guys that were actually like really invested. We didn't have any sponsors. we kind of had to go out and kind of reach out on our own. We had no faculty advisor, no, you know, the school wasn't, forking over money for our team because we had to go meet with the president and everything, or like the marketing people, just to kind of do a presentation and say, hey, this is how much money we could actually bring in by winning. Um, but we never actually got financially, where we needed to be to really travel. So the travel that we did was funded by us, you know, just putting money together and say, hey, we're going to do this tournament. Let's register. Let's go. Um, so we got to do a few, and it was tough. I mean, you're a college student, don't have a lot of money. I wasn't working at the time, so I'm like, any money I could get was going towards fishing stuff and all that good stuff. But we had fun, and I still talk to some of the buddies that I had back in the day still today. So you do meet lifelong friends. Um, Kind of what I want to get into now is kind of y'all's season. This season that you fished, you guys had me excited at Pickwick from the practice photos. I'm not gonna lie, I was like, oh, they're on to something. Um, but no, y'all are in some challenging. What's the word? The series y'all are in is challenging because it's all kinds of different bodies of water. So y'all can talk about a little bit about that.
Yeah, I mean, I'll kind of go first and get Corey can say what he wants to as well. But we've been to Florida this year, Okeechobee. We've actually been there twice. We pre-fished down there a little bit earlier, like at the start of January, just to try and get ahead. But we ended up having some difficulties and having to come home. But no, we started our season at Okeechobee, and it was flat out just horrible. Like we never got on the fish. Florida had the coldest 2 weeks it's had, like I think ever. I believe. Don't quote me on that, but it was and it was just starting to get warm again. So those fish were just not wanting to eat at all. But yeah, so we had a rough tournament there, and we were kind of down on ourselves really, and we turned it around and went a few weeks later to Logan Martin, which is in Alabama on the Coosa River. And we had a really good tournament there. We finished 11th, I believe. But yeah, no, too. And that tournament was so crucial for us to do well because it kind of gave us, the extra boost of like, you deserve to be here. You can fish with these guys, like it was just cool for us to do well and bounce back from such a bad tournament and have such a good one. But yeah, I'll let Corey talk about the two others we fished.
Yeah, we kind of had that roller coaster to start the year. Well, really, we started, like I say, we started really down after Okeechobee. Both times at Okeechobee, we had boat troubles, had to come home. Then we just no excuses sucked in the tournament. We never found the fish. Never. I mean, just awful. Logan Martin did good. That was leading into Pickwick, which we had about a month or so off in between there, which for the college series is a lot. I mean, a month is a pretty long time. And we went to Pickwick and had an excellent practice. We figured out a smallmouth bite at the dam. We had pushing 20 pounds of smallmouth one of the days of practice and had a ton of fun. And then we were going to focus on the dam because the tournament was like it to get to the bottom of the lake where the largemouth are. It was like a 50-mile run, and there's supposed to be 30-mile-an-hour winds. And in our boats, either boat me and Colin have, it's just not a good idea to make that long of a run because Pickwick can get pretty rough. So then on the last day of practice, they sent out a text and said, hey, this is now a trailered event, meaning we had to check in, like we just check in at the meeting, and then you can put out at whatever ramp you want to on the lake, and they send you a text to start, similar to the Big Bass Tour. So we're like, okay, well, that being said, we at least need to go check out the bottom end. So we drove all the way to Mississippi, hour and a half away, and fished down there and had a great day. We had about 17 pounds of largemouth, and we're like, okay, now what do we do? So now we're torn. Now we got largemouth, we got smallmouth. Like, we knew the smallmouth might be more consistent, but we knew there might be people up there. So we figured our best shot to win was go for the largemouth, go swinging and try to catch 25 pounds. And we went down there, and the fish just moved. I mean, we had to scratch and claw to catch almost 16 pounds, which put us in like 60th place out of 300 boats. So still a pretty solid finish, but looking back, that one, if we would have went to the dam that day, because it was supposed to be 2 days, so we figured if we don't do as good in one area, as long as we keep ourselves in it, we got a shot. Well, they canceled the second day, so we ended up not getting a shot. So that one's kind of a what if, for me. That one's kind of like what could have been.
Yeah.
And then that leading into we had a string. So after Logan Martin and Pickwick, two pretty good finishes. We're like, okay, we're back, we're rolling. And now we're leading into Bugs Island, which we had pre-fished for 3 or 4 months leading up to. I mean, we were down there every weekend. Free. It was 20 degrees one time for a whole weekend, blowing 50. We're the only ones at the boat ramp. I mean, we put in the time there. We going into it, we had pre-fished some in between Pickwick and Bugs. We had pre-fished and done really well, kind of like 16 pounds, which we knew would be probably enough to get us in the cut or very close. And then in between, so there was about a week and a half of off limits. And in that week and a half, the water at Bugs Island dropped to 300, which any of the local guys listening to know. 300 is kind of tough. There's not much cover in the water, and so we went down there and ran all of our stuff, and just we were kind of like, oh boy. And then we thought we had it figured out. We had a live scope deal, super shallow, fishing stumps and stuff on live scope, and we thought maybe we had figured them out. We thought we had figured them out, and went to the tournament, live scoped all them places, and threw a spinnerbait, and we caught a ton of fish, and we only had 12 pounds. We had 11, 15, and we thought that might be close to the cut. Well, turns out they smashed them, and 16 pounds was the cut. So, we were like, wow, we missed the ball here.
So what do you think happened? They just move off, or they just?
Well, we just, I mean, honestly, from our standpoint, we just missed it. What was going on was a blueback live scope of the minnow on stumps deal down the lake, and we just going into it, we just didn't think that was going to play because we were catching them up shallow in the bushes, and we checked all the spots that we thought they would pull off to, and there just wasn't any big fish there. It was just 2-pounders, and every now and then you get lucky and catch a 3-pounder, but we just missed that big fish. I mean, it really fished like Lake Hartwell. Anybody that's familiar, that's kind of how this lake fished. It was just like Lake Hartwell.
Yeah, and being a local too down there, I mean, so that some of the local guys listening, like, you look at the weights from Bugs Island, and they're usually pretty poor. Like, it's usually 18, 19 winning, and second place is like 16, third, 15, so on and down. So to go and see how well those guys caught them, it was just kind of like we just felt like we totally missed it. Like to see somebody who's never been to a lake, and they're like, probably most of those kids have never been to Bugs Island, I would imagine. But and growing up around Bugs Island, like we all, near Smith Mountain too, you have guys that fish both, and you hear all the stories about how all the weights are so low. I think it kind of put us in a mindset like we were fishing for, those size fish, and in all reality, we just kind of missed it. And then it's just playing out as it is. I mean, but you just, you got to keep moving. So
That's fishing, though. That's why they don't call it catching. It's fishing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, so what does your season look like from here on out? What do you guys have?
Well, we're getting ready to leave for Hartwell here next Tuesday night. Cory's going to be gone for, I think, 3 weeks because we have another tournament right after that, but we'll get to that in a second. And we leave for Hartwell on Tuesday, and we get like a 1 day of practice, and then we have like a big meeting, and that's for the ACA championship on Hartwell. So, and then we have that tournament, and then we come back for a day, and then the day after we leave for Lake Chickamauga for our final Bassmaster event. But yeah, and I'm not 100% sure on what we're doing in the fall. I know we're going to a few places, but I'll let Cory finish that off.
Yeah,
we get the summer off. I'm sorry to cut you off. We get the summer off. No tournaments really at all from May till now. Hopefully, we do get one in the summer. Let me clarify. we want to have one in July, because if we have one in July, that means we qualify at Chickamauga to go to the Bassmaster Championship at
Yeah.
Cherokee.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, for sure.
But we'll just say for right now, as the schedule is, we have the summer off. In the fall, in September, we're going to Potomac River for Major League Fishing. We have another Major League Fishing at Pickwick the 1st of October, and then the end of October, we go to Hartwell again for MLF. So we're fishing all of our MLF stuff in the fall,
Mhm.
and we got a bass and a ACA, which back when you fished, Calvin, I want to say that was the Boat US
Yes.
trail.
Mhm.
Yeah, that it turned into ACA. That's what that is.
Gotcha. Yeah, and I'm sure this summer you guys are going to stay here local and do your night tournaments, your Tuesday nighters and Fridays and Saturdays that
Yeah.
you guys usually do.
We're gonna have our benefit tournaments again starting the first week of June. So those are always a blast. And then we fish probably 2 or 3 other tournaments a week usually. But no, yeah, we'll definitely be on the water, that's for sure.
Yeah, so your benefit tournaments, I noticed they're on Saturdays. Is it Saturdays this year?
Yeah.
Yes,
That
sir.
that's I think I like that better because Sundays it's really hard to get out there. Not gonna lie, but y'all had
Yeah.
a great turnout on Sundays.
Yeah.
But
I think we're hoping for an even bigger turnout this year. We had multiple, like a ton of guys come up to us, and whether we're at a weigh-in or whatnot, and say, "Hey, are y'all doing those again? Are y'all planning to do those again?" And everybody seems super hyped about them. And we had such a good time running them last year. Everything went smooth, and it was just a really good time. But we're excited to start them again for sure.
yeah, I hope to get out there and do a couple of them since they're on
Yeah.
Saturday. I mean, because my
Yeah, we,
partner,
we, we didn't want to do that on. We really didn't want to do them on
Oh yeah,
Sundays
that's
last
right.
year, but Colin had to work on Saturdays,
mm-hmm,
so we really didn't have a choice. I mean, we know a lot of people go to church and stuff too, and it took away from us going. So we really didn't want to do that, but we knew we had to raise some money for this year, as much traveling as we're going to do.
mm-hmm.
And so this year, we're glad we can have them on Saturdays. Everybody can go to church on Sunday. You can take your Sunday and relax, do whatever you want to do. But we're
Yeah.
happy to have them on Saturdays this year as well. And they, like I said, Colin said they're starting June 7th. They're going to run until August. So if you want more
Yeah.
information on those, the Liberty pages, Facebook, Instagram's got them, and we'll be posting more on our socials about it as we get
Yeah.
closer.
And the basscast.com has them all over as well. I'll be
Yeah.
sharing them as they get closer. So everybody has them. But yeah, I mean, guys, y'all are doing it. I wish I was in your shoes. I wish I was still in college. Well, not really, not the schoolwork, but being able to fish and not have responsibilities, I guess, besides school. But guys, I keep up with y'all. Y'all are my local favorites, so keep doing what you're doing. I mean, y'all are killing it.
Thank you, man. We appreciate it.
Yeah, and so who do you guys want to thank? I like to do this at the end of my shows. You know, we don't get places just from us doing the work. There's other people that come alongside and help out. So, is there anybody you guys want to thank? For getting you guys where you are now.
Um, yeah, first and foremost, I have to thank, the good Lord for obviously helping us get to where we are and providing the fish and the water we get to fish on. But, my dad and my parents have been a huge asset to my fishing career as far as, if my boat breaks down, my dad's the first one to help me. If I need advice on, I'm feeling down from a tournament, my mom's the first one I go to. So it's been a huge help having them by my side. And also I want to thank Cory as well, because we kind of feed off of each other so well now that we've known each other for so long that we're able to, overcome most situations we get in. And, that also helps on the water as well, because, we can just bounce ideas off of each other and be honest. Like if one of us thinks something doesn't work, we're going to just straight up tell you, like, I don't think that's going to work. And, we can also come to a better understanding is to give us both confidence on the water. So that's something I'm very grateful for as well. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like Colin said, I mean, I obviously thank the good Lord for letting us do this. I mean, if it wasn't for him, it wouldn't even be water to fish on. So My parents and family have also been super helpful to me, and same thing Colin's mentioned. But I also want to thank, because I'm sure they're probably going to listen. Holden, our president, who graduated with me with his bachelor's, he's leaving. He was our president from when I said there was one member left. He was the one member, and without Holden, there is no Liberty Bass team. There truly is not without Holden. Another guy I want to thank is Gavin. He's our new president. He was the vice president this past year. He's moving into a president role starting now since Holden is back home. And Gavin has got just as much credit as Holden. I mean, without him, there is no Liberty Bass team. There is no school funding. I mean, us three really poured a lot of time into the team last summer, just trying to get what you said, Calvin. I mean, people may think that Liberty gives you a ton of money, but we don't. They don't. And I'm not knocking Liberty, but they got their hands in so many different places that bass fishing is about 1,001st on their priority list of things they care about, and that's just the reality. But we've worked real hard to get more recognition. So definitely got to thank them two guys and just all the guys on the team. We have an amazing group of guys, and to go along with that, all the sponsors of the team, Appalachian Tactical Outfitters and local to Lynchburg, they stepped up this year and really helped us out. And they don't even sell much fishing stuff. They're trying to get into it. So if you guys want to go in there and help them out, if you're into guns and tactical stuff and all that, they have a ton of stuff. But they really stepped it up this year and helped us. And you got to thank a lot of the guys in our fishing club that me and Colin have fished with. We fish a small club at the lake, and there's some really good guys in that club, and they've really helped us and supported us along the way. I mean, after every tournament, they're on Facebook posting pictures of us on the stage, even if we suck. I mean, we finished I don't even know, 390th out of 200 people at Okeechobee, and they're still posting pictures of us and saying, "Good job, keep your head up." And I know I can't also go without thanking the guys at Missile Baits. I mean, they're not even a sponsor of the team, but I recently got an opportunity with them, kind of interning and helping them. All those guys are the same way. After a tournament, they're texting me, "Good job," or they're texting me, "Keep your head up," or they're helping any way they can. And without those type of people in your corner, you're not going anywhere in this sport. And all those guys I just mentioned, I know it's a lot, but they really have kept us. That's what's keeping us on the road and keep traveling, and the motivation up and all that stuff that it takes. That's who we have to thank for it, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, no doubt.
Also, I didn't mean to cut you off, Kevin. I wanted to say one more thing though. Also, going back to our Liberty tournaments last summer, everybody who fished with us, that also went a really long way. So we're very grateful for that as well.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, guys, I really appreciate you guys coming on tonight. I know it's a little late, but I really want to get college fishing out there to the kids that may not know about it, especially our high school kids around here. There's a few teams that have it, but even to the parents, give them a little more information of what goes on in a college team if they're looking at having their kid fish. So that's really why I wanted you guys on here, and we'll definitely have you guys on again, I'm sure. Hopefully with a win this time.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
But no, I appreciate it, and I hope to see you guys on the water at some point.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir,
yes,
man.
Sir.
And if anybody out there, if you have any questions or anything, if you want to know more about Liberty and the bass fishing team, reach out to us on Instagram, preferably. That's kind of what I'm most active on. I run all of our socials, so message us at Flames Fishing on Instagram. Message Colin. I think it's Colin Cooper Fish on Instagram.
Yeah.
I'm Going Bassin, Goin Bassin. Any of us will lead you to somebody. We'll lead you to the president or somebody that can give you what you're looking for. So don't, like I say, reach out to us. Don't feel nervous, or we'll help you get in touch with who you need to get in touch with.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, guys, I appreciate it.
Yes, sir, man.
Yes, sir.
All right.